as you will probably know, Kuxir is in North America right now. He's in New York doing boot camp for Season 6 World Championship, and he's been playing a good bit of ones. He's actually ranked 13 right now in 1v1. Ranny is ranked 7, so they're pretty close. And they matched up last night when Ranny was streaming. So let's take a look at the replay from that game, just because, you know, Ranny will be pretty disappointed with how he played in that last match. But since I know a lot of you guys don't like when I pause all the time, what we're going to do is we're going to watch the game just once through from Kuxir's POV, and then after that I'll go back to start and we'll do some breakdown of some of the things that we see. The first thing you'll notice is that Kuxir's changed his camera again, and at least I think that this is new since the last time I saw it. I don't know how long he's had this one, but this is definitely very zoomed in. Interesting to see that he's gone for this. But as you'll all know, Kuxir does like... Holy cow, I want to rewind that already. What was this? I don't think he needed to do this. Flip reset into backwards flick goal, but it certainly looked pretty cool. Yeah, you'll all know Kuxir likes to play quite defensive in 1v1. And that does lead to his opponents getting lots of chances.
Kuxir.
Yep. Scrogger19 on, you're not wrong. Cheers to 250 bits, by the way. I thought it was going to be Gavalav doing that, but it's not. Yeah, how about that for a read? Not bad by Kux. He's inside Ranny's side early on. I don't think this is default bug. I'm pretty sure that these are not default camera settings. It looks too low to be default. You don't really get that in replays. But, yeah, he's looking for the pinch here. Classic. Not much boost this time. Yeah, we'll go break down this game afterwards, and we'll see what Ranny was able to do to turn this game in his favor. Because I didn't try to hide the overlay of golds at the start of this one. I'm sure most of you guys spotted what the final outcome is going to be. What a flick that is by Ranny. Now, it's this kind of thing that I was talking about in the Ranny versus Lineblaze series. These ridiculous flicks that you can't save that. Like, you don't save those. And a lot of people think that it's a Batmobile thing or it's a long car thing to get flicks like that just go through the ceiling with speed. But no, you could do that in the Octane as well. You can get some outrageously fast flicks, and people who have been watching my stream for the longest time will know that. I've had many boom flicks in the past. And Ranny's so good at those on his stream. Really dangerous with those unstoppable flicks. Now, I didn't actually catch this entire game myself. I think this is about the point that I had to stop watching. That should not be... I think this should probably be a save. We'll take a look at everything once again after this replay's done. I'll just leave it playing right now. I know you guys want to watch... or a lot of you guys wanted us to watch the game with no pausing, so we'll do that first of all. Azonzin, thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. I don't know what this suggestion is of yours, but cheers to the $5 regardless, mate. Very kind of you. I would love to see, of course, Kuxir in a series again one day for 1v1. I'm sure that we'll see that happen again in the future at some point. Good little demo there by Ranny. He's got plenty of time to secure the open net. What up, Ravis P1? Yeah, it's interesting to me that Kuxir's decided to play ranked ones while he's boot camping. That's not the first time that that's happened. I remember Season 2 boot camp, the World Championship that Kuxir did win. He was playing, you know, a couple of ranked ones games a day, just for warming up mainly. Just to have a lot of time with the ball. It's like free play with another player in there with you. So, maybe a good idea for you guys who are wanting to get a little bit better at ones, but stay mains in 2v2 or 3v3. Instead of doing 1v1 at the end of your session, when you're all tired out and worn out, why not do it as a warm-up? That's the time that I've seen some 3v3 mains play ones when they're you know, wanting to stay in the 3v3 mindset. You just do ones at the start of your session instead of free play. Or not instead of, but, you know, in addition to free play. It's not a bad way to just get a little bit of ones practice in. And since it's at the start of your session, you're probably not going to care too much about it. You're going to be pretty upset if you play really well. in 2s or 3s, then you switch to 1s and play terribly. You just feel like, oh man, where did all that go? All my success, all this skill, what's happened? But you know, if you start off with 1s, then you can put it down to, you know, warm-up games, right? That's what everybody wants to do, is just say that it was their warm-up games. What's our title right now on Twitch, by the way? What's the title? Can we get an exclamation mark title in here? What do we got? Marbles is coming up right after this, guys. That's what we got planned. Immediately after we're done this. Just going to play this replay all the way through. And Kux's camera is so close. Half of his car is like completely off the screen when he's going for these aerials. But I mean, he found out what works for him. He always does find out what works for him. And I wouldn't recommend Kuxer's camera settings in general to other players. He's such a unique player. Not really somebody that you want to be copying when it comes to camera settings, because for all you know, he could change his camera settings the day after you copy them. That being said, maybe you just really like them. Good shot there by Ranny, very quick. Off the deck there. 7-3 to King Ranny in this one. You know, Kuxer not incredibly known for massive comebacks. Of course, he's good at comebacks in series. That would have been a really cool goal, floor pinch, but does not sneak in. You know, individual game comebacks, not something that you see from Kux historically too often. Not saying it's never happening. Another pinch attempt by Kux. He just sends it straight down the line this time. You know, you can't fault him, or he didn't fail these pinches for lack of trying. Infield dribble by Ranny. I think that is what gets the GG out of Kux. He realizes the time is going to be way too little to come back from, and that was GG. Ranny winning 7-3. This is, you know, Ranny, I think 2 days ago, 2 nights ago maybe, I think it was. So very recent game here, but let's take another watch through, and we'll see. Mostly, yeah, we're going to watch everything back. We'll pause at all of the interesting moments to talk about anything that is noteworthy. Now, the first thing that's noteworthy here is what happens right here. So, at this moment, Ranny knows that Kuxer is going to get to the 100 boost first. Now, most players here would either back off to grab the 12 boost to the right, or even go back to the corner to get the 100 boost in defense. Ranny actually just goes straight for the ball.
That a larger Arena 5v5 mode actually gets added to the game.
And what does he get as a reward?
Rainbows about
Possession.
It, and flip sides, AMA stream Kuxer mentioned it as well, but I'm not sure how seriously Psyonix actually takes it.
A larger Arena 5v5 mode? I would love a larger Arena, first of all. 5v5, I'm not sure. I mean, 7, you know, 5v5, 7v7, 11v11. Why not? Obviously, the biggest issue with that is server size. Like, do Psyonix servers actually have the capability of having more cars in them? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, guys, ball chase on your kickoffs from 1v1. When you're losing kickoffs in 1v1, it's a really good idea to ball chase, because in that little time where the other guy is going to go to that side boost, you can sneak in, take the ball, just like this. And the worst thing that Ranny's getting there is a 50-50. Which it isn't terrible in that position. But this is Kux that he's against. Kux loves shadow defense. We do see that from him. But Ranny refusing to back down again. He's pretty much been playing this entire game so far in Kux's half. Now that was a wave dash attempt by Ranny to try and surprise Kux this time. So there's an early challenge with the backflip. Now pops it with a jump, and then did he go for another jump here? He could have wave dashed forward if he wanted to close the distance, but Kux is easily able to save that one. Actually gets a flip reset and then backflips into the ball to get it into a scoring position. I believe Ranny was clean out of the game regardless, so it wasn't that important. Still very cool though by Kux, and you know, it might have been necessary. Depends how long you would have taken to recycle that one without the flip reset. Yeah, expect to see plenty of ball pressure by Ranny. Kux with the post pinch save there. And this, I think, is one of the boomer flicks, isn't it? Oh no, this is the slow flick. And then, yeah, Kux just gets a long shot. And then the dunk in. The dunk looks pretty crazy from Ranny's POV, because if Ranny keeps that low, funnily enough, I think Kux is not saving it, but Ranny takes it on the bounce, and Kux has read him completely and gone up high. If Ranny just drilled that one low into the wall closest to him, next to his goal, Kux would not have had the block here. But Ranny wanted to go high, wanted to try and get it over the top. He expected Kux to stay on the ground, because that's the more conservative play. Kux got the read on that one, so very impressive by Kux. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ranny could tell that the pinch attempt was coming in here from Kux. When you see Kux doing this, I mean, he's so well known for these pinch shots, you think, yeah, he's going for it, isn't he? So at this point, Ranny should probably back off if he truly is respecting the pinch shot. Then he's technically out of position here. If the shot is on target, it's in. It's just goal. It's just a goal. But I think Ranny was sticking around here. He didn't expect the pinch to work, and he does get rewarded here with a goal because Kux pre-jumps and Ranny puts it behind him. Nice placement. Yeah, the dunk from Ranny's POV really is quite ridiculous. But look at that flick by Ranny. This is just brutal stuff. I mean, I don't know how fast that is, but wow. This is about as good as you can get from a kickoff flick. Leaning into it. That delayed flick. He air rolls into the ball and then flicks once the back of his car is lined up to get multiple touches. Blezis, thank you for the Prime sub, by the way. I appreciate that. And you know, when Kux has ran into players in the past who do this, you know, who are just scoring dribble after dribble after dribble, he starts to challenge earlier. You know, Kux is overall, historically, I think had a positive win rate versus Dapper, one of the best flickers of all time. And you know, he's had great matchups in the past against Devo even. So when flicks start to happen over and over again, that's when you expect to see Kux just challenge a bit earlier. And you know, it's at this point I think Kux, if this flick had gone boom over the top of him like the first one did, I think we would have had a complete playstyle change from Kux. But the reason he doesn't change here is because he probably feels like he should have saved this one. This flick wasn't unstoppable. It was actually stoppable. And that's why we actually see Kux do more shadowing after this, because he's going to blame that one on himself. He's not going to just be like, okay, nah, my playstyle's getting hard countered here. He's just going to say, no, my playstyle's not getting hard countered. I just messed up. Something you guys want to do in your own games. You got to be able to tell the difference between bad decisions and bad mechanics. If your mechanics are, you know, the problem, and you think that you can get it right the next time, then go for it. Stick to your guns. But if your decision making was a problem, if you just get outplayed on a decision making basis, then it's maybe time to change strategy and try something different the next time. Nice demo there by Ranny. This is something that's becoming so popular in 1v1 right now. Is when you see your opponent dodging, demo when they land. Can't be dodged, or it can't be escaped by the player who's landing unless they boost away from you. So nice awareness by Ranny. GG Fam Squad, thank you for the Prime sub, I appreciate that. Is that a wave dash from Kux? Kux there with the Batmobile wave dash. I always feel like wave dashes in cars that are not the Octane are more risky because they just look a little bit more floppy on the landing. Yeah, Kux now does not want to give Ranny the space if he doesn't have to, and that should have been a goal there. Definitely a let off. For Ranny. This is I think a misplay by Ranny to turn around this early. So let's look at what happens here. So Ranny knows that Kux has little to no boost, and even though Kuxir is famous for saving up more boost than you think he has, like with 30 boosts here, which is probably the maximum that he could have, he's not going to be able to do too much because he's not moving. Well, he's pretty much dead still. So really what Ranny should be trying to do here is not turn early. He's already got possession of the ball. We see a lot of early turns from Ranny when he doesn't have possession of the ball. And I think that often makes sense. But he's already got possession of the ball. Why is he turning early? He should actually just... So long as Kux is coming towards him, why not keep him, bring him with you, draw him in, you know? If Kux turns around to go back and get boost, of course then, yes, you turn around with them and apply that pressure. But so long as the low boost opponent is coming towards you, and you have the ball and high boost, just back off. There's no need to turn around here. You're actually getting more of a chance to put the ball past Kux the further into your corner you go, because he's going further and further out of position. So Ranny did get a fast enough recovery to hit the ball, but not get the boost to the far side. And I wonder here if this was intentional by Kux to leave this boost up. I doubt it was. I think he just missed this one. Which I need to rewind back to let the boost respawn on the replay, because it's a visual bug there. The boost is there. You can see that it's up in the midfield. Boost steal by Kux. How did he miss this one in the midfield? Oh yeah, he just turned away at the last second. So definitely missed this one if he was trying to pick it up. But he also didn't use any boost. This is something that you need to do if you're trying to deny boost, like all the boost on this side of the field. You have to use at least one. You can't drive over it with 100 and still pick it up. Yeah, he's at 100, so it makes me think that he might have done this on purpose. But there's not really any reason to do that. I don't know why he would do that. Like, this just seems like a straight up misplay. I'm trying to think of a reason why you would leave 100 boost up, and I can't think of one. Like, that doesn't make sense. There are times where leaving 100 boost up in a 1v1 situation can be good. But when your opponent has the ball and he's dribbling, I don't see how giving him 100 boost is a good idea. That doesn't seem smart. And yeah, it doesn't work out. Like, I think Kux just missed that boost, or forgot to take it. And then he throws in a fake challenge at a bit of an unfortunate time. This ends up looking like a pretty silly goal. But really what's happened here is Kux has gone for a fake challenge right as Ranny's about to pop the ball. Which this is a disaster. When you go for a fake challenge and this happens, you're like, oh no. But yeah, it's still nice play by Ranny. He was ready for this. Look at Ranny's reaction to Kux turning. As soon as he sees Kux turning, pops the ball. And now here, this is the part where Kux is supposed to go and beat Ranny to the ball. Ranny's still recovering. Wow, that's when you go for the real challenge. But because Kux took so long to turn around, Ranny's just gone for the pop and scores a very underwhelming goal. That was, like, I would say, just misplaced by Kux. But yeah, the boost is still a worthwhile comment, I think. I don't know why Kux would leave that. I'm trying to think if there's any reason that he could leave that. I just can't think of one. I've seen people do that, mainly Sharif. I've seen Sharif do that. He'll have the ball in his defensive corner in 1v1, and he'll leave the boost up in his corner, because then sometimes if his opponent's boost starved, they'll go in and they'll take the boost, and he could just score while they're doing it. But yeah, I think he just missed that one, or forgot to take it. It's just so weird though, because he did two misplays at the same time. Seeing one, if he just missed the boost, yeah, happens. If he forgot to use a boost, like if he drove over it but he forgot to use boost, and he didn't get it because he already had 100, yep, happens. Doing both at the same time, that doesn't make sense. I think probably Yukio is just like taking selfies of his biceps in the mirror, and Kux was just like, can you please stop doing that, mate? You're making me miss boost over here. Like, this is just too much. I think that's the most logical explanation. Look at this, actually. This is really smart by Ranny. Remember earlier on when Kux got demoed in the corner? That is such a meta thing right now in 1v1. Like, while your opponent is going for corner boost here, like, just leaving the ball and going for a demo is so popular. Because really, what are you going to get here if you hit the ball? Not much. You're going to hit the ball into the corner wall, and then the opponent is probably going to stop it from centering, and you're going to have to take a really risky aerial play to score. Unlikely. So players are going for a lot more demos in this position these days. And look here, Ranny actually knows that that's a threat, and he's hit the brakes here just to make sure that he's not getting demoed. That's really smart. Funnily enough, I don't think Kux was going for that, but even if he was, Ranny would have been ready. That's just a good power slide turn. Boost starving into quick turn. Very cheeky by Ranny here. Kux has actually got more boost than Ranny's probably aware. But Kux was expecting Ranny to take longer to recover from that bump. And how did Ranny recover? Just all in the power slide. See that? The landing is very clean. There was no stutter on the landing because he's holding power slide. Hey, thanks to the Nooms Race Snoopy. Appreciate the 250 bits as well, mate. Sharknado, thanks to the Prime sub. Rocket Legume, thanks to the Prime sub. Puff2112, thanks to the 22 months of Tier 1. Almost 2 years, I appreciate it, man. Silent Renegade 8, thanks to the 2 month in a row Prime sub as well. I think that's everybody. Yeah, I think, you know, it's definitely possible. Ranny could just boom that flick top corner. It is possible. It's a bit risky. I wouldn't advise this sort of play. I wouldn't advise this. You just showed Kuxir as garbage. What did you do, Yukio? Oh no. What have you done? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, see, when you're this far up in a 1v1, I would not recommend plays that involve your car landing in the opposition's goal when it doesn't work. Well, you know, regardless of whether or not this flick is working, Yukio, or not Yukio, like, Yukio's my chai, it's distracting me now. Ranny is taking himself way out of the game here, which, you know, rewind this, if you're looking, or no, if we look at this position, and Ranny is losing 6-3, then yeah, or losing 6-2 rather, then yeah, you probably just have to go for the play that you're scoring with most of the time here, which, yeah, could be a flick, maybe a reverse 45-degree flick. But if you're winning 6-2, I think this is a really terrible idea. I think this is actually a huge misplay by Ranny, because Kux is saving this a good amount of the time, and on another day of the week, I think Kux actually gets a much better save here. The problem here for Kux is he's hitting the ball high. If he hits this ball straight forward into the corner wall, easy counter-attack goal. But he's hit it so high actually that it's bounced down and back into the center, so not the best situation for Kux either. He needed to hit that into the corner wall, not the side wall, and he would have probably had a goal. But yeah, this is not the most efficient path, obviously, that Kux could have taken, and definitely not the safest type of goal or a shot that he can go for. Kux is really just hoping that Ranny takes him on in an aerial battle one of these times. That's what he's wanting. He's not going to be too desperate for a goal just yet, and there is a nice finish over the top. We'll have to take a look at this one from Ranny's POV, because funnily enough, Ranny does get enough boosts here, but he falls for Kux's trick. Kux has just let the bait out there, and Ranny's thought, oh yeah, Kux has just passed me the ball, cool. He's popped it, expecting me not to go up, so I will go up. But really, this is just bait from Kux. He's popped the ball and he hasn't, like, jumped to do it. If Kux jumps here, like does a fake jump, then yes, Ranny can fly into the ball, take a 50-50. But Kux doesn't do that. He just stays in the deck, like, just pops it. And if your opponent does this, if he pops it, like, see that, letting the ball bounce the second time there by Kux means that this touch where he pops it is not going to go too far. If he popped that on the first bounce, it would have gone way too far. But he's popped on the second bounce. His car is right underneath the ball. He can just easily jump and get a second touch on that, and he does. It's a misplay again by Ranny. He could have had a much cleaner win here at the end. After being 6-2 up and having possession with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, I really feel like Ranny could have just stayed, played this out a little bit more consistently, you know. That ball did actually glitch through Kux. It's smart for Kux to turn around there, but he's not been showing us the best goalkeeping here. You see there that there's a little stutter from Kux before he goes up to try and save this, so he definitely messed up there as well. There's, I think, 2 goals now this game that Kux has straight up messed up his shadowing. This is a NA server. Both of them have really good ping. Kux actually has amazing ping. He's playing from New York at the Flipside Bootcamp, I believe. Yeah, this would have been a really cheeky goal by Kux if he'd managed to get that one to sneak in. Really good timing, actually. Like, floor pinches are much harder to do when you're not just kind of floating down towards the ball from a failed air dribble. I think Kux is well aware that the demo was an option there for Ranny, and he stayed well clear of the danger. Going again for the pinch. Ranny that time was in a much better position to deal with it. Like, I think even if that pinch is on target, there's a chance that Ranny can save it. He'd have to react quick, but he's probably saving that. And that's just a really good infield dribble by Ranny. So think, guys, when you're in a 1v1 situation and you're taking the ball across your goal, what's something that people do quite a lot, since they can't really make a play on the ball, is they steal your boost. Because they're trying to go one step ahead of you. They think that you're going to try and take the ball down the wall into the boost, so they go steal it. What's the counter to that? It's just ignoring the boost entirely and going straight for their goal. This is something we talked about earlier. You know, leaving that boost up in the corner can sometimes be an advantage. And this is actually the thing that gets Kuxir to forfeit. So GG Ranny. Taking down Kux. I asked him for this replay earlier because I wanted to see the rest of the game. Myself. But then we got Ranny on stream and he didn't have his best performance. I thought maybe it would be cool to show you guys one of his better games versus someone that you guys are always asking for. But yeah, good game, very good game. I'd love to see a series between these two. I think that would be quite an interesting matchup actually, with both of them playing quite unconventionally, I would say.